So this past week, Ahmaud Arbery's murderers have been given life sentences, which a great thing.
2 no parole, 1 with possibility of parole. I think the recorder, the videotaping guy, the one who ultimately damned them all.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's definitely a positive. In the case that the family of Ahmaud Arbery got justice, but the question I want to pose, and it was brought to me from Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton has said that this is not justice; this is accountability.
Facts. I was just thinking that because I was going to say justice would be their son, and they can never get justice. They can never get that.
Absolutely. So my question is, we've seen obviously with the George Floyd trial, and then the Ahmaud Arbery trial, and then Dante Wright, the Dante Wright trial. We're starting to see a swing in obviously these murderers being convicted. My question is this progress or is this the bare minimum?
It's hard to call what should happen progress, right? It's hard to call things that we look at and are very, very plain, very black and white, and they go the way that you set out, that you predict them to call that progress. The reality of it is that we have been so far on the other side of that, right? We've been so used to seeing, everything from hung juries to gross misconduct to just guys getting off when they blatantly should not. Mm-hmm. So to see such a string, at least in these high profile cases, it would be interesting to maybe take a look at the numbers across the board for all police shootings in trials. It would be a very interesting look to see to see if it's actually something that's trending. But at least in the eyes of these high profile cases, it's positive from the standpoint to you can at least say that, okay, if you can get it in the news, you have a shot. It's very sad that that's where we're at. Mm-hmm. But let's just talk reality, right? If it's big enough and there are enough eyes on it, you have a chance, at least. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about that chance. You have a chance to see men that murdered your child go to jail. And so that's the crushing reality, right? It's sobering. It brings you right back to where we started, because your consolation, your reward, or if you can even call it that, is for things to happen the way that they should.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, in the case of Ahmaud Arbery, it is a little bit more shocking, I think, because all white jury, white judge, not only convict, but they all got life, and one of them got parole.
Especially with all the bullshit that happened in this trial.
I mean, they are definitely laying down the eggs for appeal. We've seen the one lawyer in there talking about all the black reverends and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure that'll be something that they try to bring up in any appeal going forward. But also there is the added aspect of the federal charges coming into play here too. They have federal hate crime charges that didn't come into play because Georgia didn't have those kind of laws on the books before all of this happened with Ahmaud Arbery. So this isn't over. We know for a fact that whatever comes of this, they will spend the rest of their lives in prison, more than likely. Mm-hmm. But it's not done. No. So we still have federal hate crimes to be tried for. So I'd wonder if any chances of appeal would be either extinguished or done away with any kind of deal what they would be working out with the federal crimes that they're charged with. So Saga's not done, but at least we've got the bare minimum of what needed to happen in this case. These men are going to go to prison and they're going to lose their lives. They're going to lose their lives because they did take Ahmaud's life from him. Mm-hmm.
it's also hard to be happy about this situation in any shape or form, because yes, the trials are starting to go our way, but the act itself has already been done, and there still may be an issue out there with, police killing black people unjustly.
Mm-hmm.
And until we stop seeing that, there isn't any real, I don't feel like there isn't any real progress being made. Sure, we're holding them accountable for when they do it, but the issue itself is us being killed.
Yeah.
So it's hard to look at this as any kind of real progress.
That's why I said, because I mean, everything is politics, right? Everything is politics, and politics are people. So seeing that Kim Porter is going to jail for a very long time, seeing that Amber Geiger is going to jail for a decade at least, seeing that Derek Chauvin is going to go to jail for the next 30, 40 years, seeing that Travis McMichael and I don't know the rest of their names, and William Bryan and all those guys, like seeing that they're going to spend the rest of their lives in prison. If that means that some white guy in rural Ohio is not going to come out of his house and not think before turning his gun on my son, then that's a positive. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It is. Like, you can take it for what it is. You can say it's terrible that it even has to be that way, and I will agree with you. But if that means that my son's going to be able to drive through Delaware safely because they have to think twice before pulling their gun on him, they have to think about going to jail for the rest of their lives and then being charged for a federal hate crime. Yeah, I want that. I do.
That's a fair point.
I want that.
For sure.
I want someone to think about Derek Chauvin before they think about putting their foot on the back of my son's neck for 9 minutes. If telling you that his lives matter, that their lives matter, if telling you that or screaming it to you does not break through, if trying to humanize my son to you does not work, then punishment is my only recourse.
Fair point. We still have Casey Goodson's case. We still have Andre Hill's case. I think Andre Hill's case should be starting up soon.
Yeah.
And still haven't heard any kind of updates on the whole McKay Bryant situation. All three of those are here in Columbus, Ohio, so we'll definitely be looking close on those. Any other thoughts?
I will say the law worked as it should in this case. I won't be the monster that I'm accusing them of being. So I'm not going to celebrate the loss of their lives no more than I'm going to celebrate the loss of Ahmaud Arbery's life. But what I will say is that the law finally worked the way that it was supposed to. Right. And it is a good example, not only for the people who will do black people harm in the future, but it's also a good thing for us to see. Right. Like it's a hard thing, man, to keep looking at all of our kids dying and then the killers walking free.
Agreed.
It is a terrible thing to see. If this in any way increases the chances of future victims, which unfortunately we already know there will be, if this sets some sort of precedence for them to get the due process they deserved for the murder of their children, then that's a good thing. For sure.
Agreed.
Give us your thoughts on the trial and the sentencing in the comments below.
We've also discussed the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, so make sure you check out that video. And also make sure you subscribe. We like to talk about cases involving Black Lives Matter and things of that nature, so make sure to subscribe for more.